be about crafting and gathering. This is something that a lot of people have been asking about, and a lot of people are obviously interested in it, so it's going to be a quick guide on that. This is not going to be a guide on which gathering and crafting professions are the best, which are the most useful. This is just going to give you an idea of what is available to you, how to get them, how to use them, and why they're important, basically. Okay. Now I'm standing in Emerald Village, and this area, this town, is the first big town you're going to reach in the game as you level. You probably get here around level 14 or 15, somewhere around there. And as you see, there are a lot of icons around here. These are all gathering and crafting professions. So when you first get here, you might be a little bit overwhelmed. And keep in mind that the names that I have, like Handicrafter, may be different or will most likely be different in NA and EU. Okay? So for the crafting professions, they call them unions here. We have a pharmacist, okay, and this is for healing and potions, basically, medicinal stuff. We have an alchemist. The alchemist makes talismans, revival talismans, unsealing talismans. Unsealing talismans are things that you use to unseal weapons and bow pacing. So everyone uses those. Keep that in mind, okay? You've got cooking. Cooking is helpful for making buffs, okay? Certain food buffs. Ceramics. Ceramics is over here. Ceramics, I don't know where all these locations are off the top of my head, so I'm not going to go around looking for each one. They are all in this area, and you can highlight them, and the icons will always tell you what they are. So they're pretty easy to find once you know what you're looking for. Okay, ceramics mainly makes materials for other professions. Along with, let's see, I actually do ceramics. Yeah, so mostly crafting materials. And also these materials that are used to upgrade your dashing. This, okay? Not the animation, but more so your stamina and being able to dive like that, stuff like that. Okay? They're questing items. Um, you've also got what's after ceramics. You've got boupe sculpting. I also use that. You can create different types of boupe. These bouquets can be used to... Most people don't wear the bouquets that you upgrade. I mean, not that you upgrade, that you craft. But they use the bouquets that you craft to upgrade. They're more so for enhancing. And you can also create evolve stones, which are very important for everyone for evolving your weapons and accessories. But these are quite expensive. Okay? Um, So Bopay sculpting, we have metalsmithing, which would probably be called blacksmithing. That creates certain weapons. You can get weapon boxes and hammers, emergency repair hammers, and normal repair hammers. These are also important, guys. Everyone who started playing this game is always like, where do I get hammers? How do I get hammers? I have no hammers. I can't afford hammers. So everyone will be using these and will probably be in pretty high demand since everyone uses them. And there's also handicrafting. Handicrafting is one of my favorite uh, professions, crafting professions, because they create gem boxes, like RNG boxes that can be pretty fun. You can get a very good gem out of them. A lot of people just sell the boxes themselves instead of opening them, because you can get some pretty bad gems in there also. But I mean, if you like gambling, I know a lot of other people like gambling, so those guys will probably make a lot of money too. Now, each of these crafting professions, okay? When I go to one here, you'll see collaboration union. This will tell you which two gathering professions basically feed mats into this crafting profession. Okay, so this is really important. You want to pick gathering professions that feed into your primary crafting. You can have two crafting professions. Okay, I've got two crafting professions, and you can have two gathering professions. Now, since you have two crafting professions, you're going to require basically mats from four gathering um what do you call it, unions or gathering professions. But if you choose two gathering professions that primarily feed mats into one crafting profession, you can find another crafting profession that takes mats from at least one of them. And then you can collaborate with a friend or something, or just buy the, other half of mats from the auction house if you really want to. But just remember, you're only going to be able to supply yourself with mats for one. One of them will always be, short shafted half of the mats because they all require two. And vice versa, when you go to a gathering profession, let me find one. Here's a miner. It will also tell you the collaborating crafting unions. Alright? So you can take a look around, see what you want to do. If you're working with a friend, you guys can work together on that. Okay? You're not required to take two crafting. You can just take one crafting and two gathering, and always just have plenty of mats and really just focus on one. And you won't be buying or paying for other mats. A lot of people do that. So for the gathering professions, these aren't as important, but you've got an herbalist, harvesting, wood cutting, hunting, fishing, mining, and stone cutting. Okay, the way that these work is I actually have it set up. So I just hit level 3 on wood cutting. So once you take up a gathering profession, gathering works in an interesting way. You have to find the material. You see here, these are all materials that you can request. You have to find the material on the open world. I will put a link in the description, a guide on where to find all the materials for all the gathering professions. But you have to find the material in the open world for you to be able to request that material. All gathering and crafting happens passively in the background, no matter what you're doing. You don't have to sit down at a crafting table. You don't have to do any of that. Okay? None of that. It's very simple stuff. So for crafting, I'm at level 2 here, so I'm going to craft level 2 items. Gives you the most XP. It tells you the time, the mats required. I just hit process. I can do this anywhere. I just can't be in combat. And now the timer's counting down. And when it's done, I can retrieve it from anywhere. Except for cross-server dungeons. If you're on a cross-server, you can't. Okay? So now I just did that. The same goes for processing, gathering for materials. I can just do process, and it'll gather it from me. Okay? This is also level 3, so this isn't the level 2 mat is not going to give me as much XP as the level 3. The XP you need to level up scales, obviously, with each level. So I'm going to give you an example of what it's like to find one of these mats in the open world. Let's see. I know this one is... Where is it? It's over here. So we're going to port over there. And usually, if you pick up these gathering and crafting professions right at level 15, and you're continuously, processing items and requesting items as you level up, the mats that your gathering and crafting professions will level up in a manner that the mat will be available to you in the area that you're questing it. Does that make sense? So if you're doing it right, I hit level 3 and I was just in this area, and I was able to get to this mat. But if you don't level up your crafting and gathering um, professions right from when you get to that town, you're going to be very far behind because it's very time consuming. You cannot just sit down and crank all the levels out, in one day. You can't do that. It takes lots of time. There are certain materials that can take up to 12 hours, 24 hours. They can take a very long time. Alright, so I am looking for the log. I believe it's called a cypress log. Should be somewhere around here. Let me see. It's over here. It's next to a tree. A weird looking tree. Huh. Where is it? Can't seem to find it. Should be right around here. I'm looking at a map right now. I can't seem to find it. Hold on, give me a sec. Sorry, guys. Oh, well here, this is not for, this is not for my cypress log, but this is for my hunting. So here is an example of a map. Okay? So this is, let's see, wolf meat. Okay, funny. Wolf meat, right? So now that I've gotten that, I can always process it and request it whenever I want, as long as I'm not processing something else in the meantime. Okay? The tree log should be somewhere around here, but can't seem to find it. I'll find it later. Okay? Now, one thing that's really important, now we're gonna go into guild-related stuff, okay? One thing that's really important is having a lot of different types of professions in your guild, okay? You're going to find a lot of crafting. All the endgame crafting happens within the guild. These professions are not, the crafting in here is not endgame. It's, you can't do any individual endgame crafting. It's all done through the guild. Now, let's take the guild outfit, for example, okay? Here, what's going to happen is for a guild to create a guild outfit, first they have to design, the guild leader has to design the guild. So that's a whole separate topic. Once that's designed, the guild can contract out an outfit. Okay, well this one's 5. All of these items can be contracted out. I currently have Hungman beads contracted out. Okay, so whoever needs this in the guild, they can put mats in. See, someone's already put 7 in there. Okay, usually they'll tell me, oh, okay, I need the Hungman bead. Can you start the contract? These materials here are taken out of the guild bank. Okay, so the guild pays for this, and then the members supply the mats. Okay, and whoever supplies the mats, usually they split it half and half. Then they'll get these materials. When this material is done crafting, it will go to the leader, a vice leader, or an elder. These guys can pull them out. You can set it differently, so whoever can pull out, you can set all the guild permissions here. Okay. So once all these mats have been fulfilled by the members, this will start crafting. It takes 24 hours, and then one of these ranks can pull it out and give it out to the members. Same goes for, that's how everything here works. Okay. Now for the guild outfit and for some other items, this weapon here, this here, you're gonna see an extra requirement here. It says signed. Here it says Bopay sculpting, ceramics grade 3, alchemy cooking, pharmacy, metalsmithing, and handicrafting. Okay? For this craft to start, you not only have to have the guild pay this fee, you have to have members pay these materials, okay? But you also need members of each of these professions to sign on to craft this for one day. When they're crafting this, they cannot use that craft for their own personal gain at the time. So if I'm signed on as a boupe sculptor, I cannot do my own personal boupe sculpting here. That's very important to have different types of professions in your guild. It's really important for you to have a guild leader you can trust also, because these materials will usually go to them, okay, and they'll have to give it out. So you have to have a lot of communication. Okay, that goes for almost all of this stuff. See, that's endgame crafting there. And if you want to change a profession or gathering profession, you can always just leave a union. So here I can't do it. I'm actually crafting. Here, I can just leave the union. When you leave, it will reset completely. You will not leave where you left off, and you will not come back at level 3 if you leave at level 3. Not how it works. Okay? So be very careful when you're changing your mind. A lot of people wanted to see the guild outfit designing, which I guess would be considered also crafting. So I'll show you that really quickly. Also keep in mind that the guild Dobot crafting is very, very expensive. Contracting out the 5 Dobot itself in the guild management tab is not the expensive part. It's designing the outfit. It's a massive gold sink in this game. Only the top level guilds even on the Taiwan server have very elaborate, expensive Dobots or outfits. But I'll give you a little sneak peek on that. Gathering crafting is very simple in this game. It's not as complicated as you think. So there's not much else for me to talk about it. But here I go to my guild supervisor, guild dressing room, takes me a whole different page. A lot of people wanted to see this. I'm not going to go over it in detail. I'm just going to show you some of the stuff, okay? Alright. You can change, it's almost like character creation. You can change the background, okay? This will show you what it's like on every class, gender. Well, not class, every gender and race. Alright? So let's take this, and here are the presets. I'm going to go through each preset, and then I'm going to show you just a couple of the customizations, and then that'll be it for the video, okay? So here, okay. Some of them may look similar, but remember, these are just presets. Everything about this outfit can be changed, and I'll show you that in a second. So you can make these very, very unique to your own guild. Your guild has certain colors that they use. This one I think is pretty funny. You get an umbrella in the back. It's like a raincoat. Alright, this one's also pretty nice. Okay. And the coat design, you can change the fabric. Okay, the print on it. Let's see. See this print? Like, let's do it like a forearm kitty. You see that? Change the color. So you can see it. There we go. You can even change how dark it is. Okay. You can change everything about this. And if you click this show, it'll show you where this is affected. Okay, you can do everything to this. Accent patterns, you can change everything. This changes the belt, everything. Top, bottom, accent. Everything. Face, you can do your own little guild mask. You can customize that, right? Lots of different stuff. Hair, you can have your own guild hoodie. Okay. Bandana, right? That's also customizable. Now, let's say I have this. I want to sign it. It's going to add up all the materials you need, okay? This is just the signing fee. The guild pays this, but all these materials are, you have to pay for each little accent you have. Okay, like this. These materials are extremely expensive. So you don't expect to rush into this from the very beginning. It's very expensive. All right. Uh, Another thing you guys should keep in mind with the guild bank, a lot of things are paid for by the guild bank. The guild bank is not something that you guys are used to. The guild bank is donations only. It is not a fully functional bank. I know the clan access for the NA site says full warehouse access. I don't know if they're planning on making an actual warehouse where we can, put items in and take out. But even as the guild leader, okay, I cannot pull anything out. Once something's in the guild, it's in the guild forever. Okay, unless it's spent on a craft. It's all for crafting. Alright? So don't worry about low levels taking stuff out and leaving the guild. Don't worry about guild leaders hoarding all the money. It stays within the guild. Okay, even if a guild leader kicks everyone out and has all this stuff in the guild, he can't really do anything with it. So, alright? That's pretty much it for crafting and gathering. It's a pretty short video. There's not much else to talk about it. Yeah, that's about it. Alright, thanks guys. If you have any questions or comments, put it below the video. Subscribe, and I will put a couple helpful links in the description as well. Alright? Thank you.